We don't care about people.
Just want to grab a chair.
Yep, that's fine.
Well,
Oh, we're on.
I'm 3 days for vacation. I did that last week.
Yeah.
Well, now they want.
Okay, it is 9 a.m. I'm going to go ahead and call this meeting to order. The first item on the agenda is to review the agenda.
Move to approve as presented.
Second.
Okay, I have
This conference will now be recorded.
sorry, I thought we were already on. So we reviewed the agenda. We had a motion by Scott and a second by Doug. All those in favor?
Aye. Aye.
Aye. And I vote aye as well too. The third item on the agenda is the discussion and action to approve the claims dated on June 29th, 2020 in the amount of $900,782.84.
Move to approve. Second.
Okay, I have a motion by Scott, a second by Nathan. All those in favor?
Aye.
And I vote aye as well too. Okay. The fourth item on the agenda is a public hearing for the proposed plans and specifications and form of contract and estimate of the cost of the proposed public improvements with the Muscatine County Jail partial roof replacement project. And this is for the public now to speak on any of this.
Mike, are you there?
Yes, I'm on. Can you guys hear me?
Yep, we
Yes.
can hear you. You just want to do a little run through for this, please?
Yes, absolutely. Okay, good morning, everyone. So this is a partial roof replacement project to replace the original roof on the original portion of the jail. So this is, if you look above, there's a portion of it over the new, which is a white TPO, and then the current existing is an EPDM roof. What we're going to do is essentially pull all of the EPDM roofing off, the coping and the flashing around the sides and everything, essentially all the pipe flashing, the curb flashing, things along that line. We're going to replace it with a TPO roof, which is going to match the white roof that's on the new portion of the jail. We are hoping, and from our investigations, we think that the insulation underneath is still in good shape. So initially we thought we would replace all the insulation, but we will do at this point is replace that on a unit price as needed basis. So we'll pull up the existing membrane, assess the insulation, replace insulation as required, and then we will do a new mechanically attached cover board, which is basically a fiberglass reinforced gypsum product. And then that will become the base that we will then adhere, basically glue down the new membrane over top of the entire, the new cover board. So the big picture is fill everything off, new cover board goes down, new TPO membrane on top of that, and then we'll do new flashings and copings all the way around the building and perimeter as required. We'll replace the walkway pads with a better quality. Basically, if you go out on the jail roof, they have some kind of thicker rubber pads. At the request of maintenance staff for safety, we're going to add some more of those in, and essentially everything will go back into place as came out. The total projected cost for this is around $310,000. You'll see we're going to be carrying unit costs for replacing roof drains as needed, replacing the insulation as needed, and then potentially, for whatever reason, if we encounter large areas of dripping or where leaks have damaged the steel roof deck, then we'll also replace that. From what we've seen, there are some known areas that we've had leaks and places that have been repaired in the past. From a visual inspection of all the roof drains, they all appear to be in very good shape, and we don't think there are any active leaks. This is just taken kind of out of abundance of caution, again, for whatever we don't know about as we move forward with the project.
Okay. So, Mike, how much, do we have like a square footage amount on this?
I do. I don't have it right off the top of my head. I think the total area of this roof is around, the number that comes to me is around 35 to 40,000 square feet of roofing area.
Okay. And when you talked about pathways for the maintenance technicians, are those pathways to the HVAC units, pathways to that type of maintenance equipment of some sort? Is that what those are for? as
That's
far as,
correct. From the rooftop access on the new addition of the building, if you go up and look on the roof, there are some rubber pads they have on EPDM right now. We talked about there's a product that is more of a roll down mat, but after talking with Oscar and Scott, they said those get icy and could be hazardous during the wintertime. So what we want to do is you put down these rubber mats over top of the roof where you plan on walking. What that does is protect the roof membrane. Things like the Venmar unit, mechanical things that they have to have access to regularly are only accessed by going over top of the roof. So we want to make sure that we keep those pathways in place.
I know we've done some membrane roofs that I've seen before, and just pathways to some of those. They make products that do have like a sand paint type material, so the over those types of weathers, they can kind of get a little bit of a grip on those areas as well too. So it's just something as a thought on that. So my last item was on reviewing that 152 page document, I believe it was. It talked about the warranty on the product, and it just said warranty per Iowa statute. Could you tell me what does that mean, or do we have any sort of warranty on that? I'm sure we do, but I just don't know what that
Essentially,
means.
yep, Iowa has what we call like a 12-month bumper to bumper. So basically, anything in the first year of the project is totally at the general contractor. So that's the time period that they have to warranty 100% all of the workman material, things like that. What you'll see is beyond that, particularly in the membrane section, is that we specified a 20-year warranty for the membrane and the product as well. So that's something that will be issued by the manufacturer.
Okay.
So when they basically propose on this project, they're going to have to use a system that will meet the manufacturer's 20-year requirements. So that will be things like the thickness of the membrane, the copings and the material around. Even though we don't have a specific requirement, the system is designed and specified to the FM 190 standard, which meets or exceeds our uplift requirements for wind in our area. So that's what we're going for, is a 20-year roof that essentially will be meeting FM 190 requirements.
Well, that's good. That's all I have. Does anybody else on the board have any other questions?
The only question I have is for Sherry, that this is already a budgeted item, correct?
Right, well, this item, because we had some issues with leaks on the roof, we transferred some money from our building maintenance repair fund, those dollars that we set aside for these purposes, into the capital projects fund to pay for it. This is not a project that we're levying taxes this year for.
Excellent. That's all I have.
Excellent. Okay, if there's nothing else,
I'd move to close the public meeting.
okay. Motion by Scott,
Second.
second by Nathan. This is a roll call vote. Doug?
Aye.
Scott?
Aye.
Nathan?
Aye.
And I vote aye. Okay, the next item is a discussion and possible action to approve resolution 06-290-20-01, approving the plans and specifications, form of contract, and estimated cost to the Muscatine County Jail partial roof replacement project.
I'll move to approve.
Motion by Nathan,
I'll second.
second by Scott. This is also a roll call vote. Is there any discussion? Nothing more on that? Before I forget. Okay. Doug?
Aye.
Scott?
Aye.
Nathan?
Aye.
And I vote aye as well too. Motion passes. Discussion and possible action to approve the minutes of June 22nd, 2020 regular meeting.
Move to approve.
Okay, motion by Doug,
Second.
second by Scott. The next item is,
Aye.
any,
Sorry.
okay, any correspondence? Doug?
Just
We didn't
about
vote on
the
it.
candidates for
We did vote on number 5, didn't we?
No, not officially.
Oh, I thought we did, because we had, it wasn't a roll call vote.
second.
Oh, okay, we had a first and a second, I'm sorry.
That's right.
Do we all vote aye on number 5?
Aye.
Aye. Okay. Number 5 passed. I'm working through this. Okay, number 6, correspondence. Doug?
The only thing I had was an email about the candidate forum at the library,
Okay.
an email.
Scott?
I actually had that same correspondence about the forum as well, and that's all I had.
Yeah, same here. I guess I got a letter too in the mail.
Letter, yeah.
Same deal.
All right, so under correspondence, I had a email for the ISAC with the voting on the mental health, 2643. I think you had replied to that, Nathan, on that as well too.
That's true, yeah.
Then I had a email for moving of a meeting that we normally have in public to a online for the solid waste that we're gonna be meeting tomorrow on. I had the email for the candidates forum as well too. And then I had a call from a resident in regards to asking about the Deep Lakes Park and potentials of any sort of drinks or vending of any sort, specifically looking at shaving ice of some sort. And I know that we've gotten a lot of use out of that public park, but I didn't know if that was something that the board has ever even entertained for maybe a month or two during the summer weekends or anything like that. Scott, I don't know if you've ever thought about that, if that would be something that, I know in the city, we do have things where we bring in Happy Joe's or Hy-Vee, and there's a percentage that they get for them. Specifically, I know they had a big tournament down there and they made like $9,000 just on one weekend for pizza.
Or only 10%.
They make like 10% off of that, the city does, yeah. But I thought it would be something just to mention. I know that the public has had a tremendous amount of public going to the Deep Lakes, but I just thought it would be something. It was something interesting when they asked, and I never thought about it, but I do know that we are getting a lot of use, and maybe we can, bring it up to their board, or you can bring it up to your next conservation board and see if there's something, if maybe not this year, maybe next year, if there's something we could contract out with a vendor or something, if you think there's value in it. Ultimately, I just wanted to bring that up and have you think about that, knowing that history that you have.
Yeah.
And I will let the resident know that was something that we talked about at least. Any committee reports, Doug?
I had no
Scott?
committee reports either.
I did not have any committee reports per se, but I did get an email from Karosh inviting us to begin our HIPAA training, kind of an online module.
I had the We Lead meeting on Tuesday of last week. I also forgot I did have a correspondence. I did have a meeting with some of the stakeholders from the levy. I had Jeff and I were on that same group on last week as well too. And that's all I had under committees and meetings. Number 8, items with the administration office. Discussion and possible action to approve a fireworks permit application from David Reagan.
So the board has a policy about issuing fireworks permits. In this particular case, it's because the display that they're going to do is what would be considered a
display fireworks as opposed to consumer.
Thank you. Display fireworks as opposed to consumer fireworks. I was contacted about this last Thursday. Our policy typically is a 21-day lead time, but really that's to make sure that they jump through all the hoops. They did all of that. They have a sign off from the fire department. The fire department is going to be there with 1 or 2 trucks.
They
They
provided
have,
insurance too, didn't they?
yes, they
$1 million
provided
bond.
proof of the insurance that is required, so, since they were able to jump through all the hoops, I told Mr. Riggin that I would go ahead and put it on the agenda for board consideration.
I would move to approve.
Okay, motion by Doug,
I would second.
second by Scott. All those in favor?
All right.
Aye.
Opposed? None. Okay. Discussion and possible action to approve the appointments for the Muscatine County Compensation Commission for a period of July 1st, 2021 to June 30th, 2021.
Looks like we've still got a lot of folks to Got more room on there, right?
Right, the code requires the board to appoint a 28-member commission. It's 7 people from the 4 different, there's 4 different categories. And this is essentially a pool that can be drawn from if there's a condemnation hearing. We have struggled, and it gets worse each year, trying to find people who are willing to serve. So as you can see, even with the reappointment of everybody that we have in the current year, we're still short in, I think, all 4 areas. So if you guys know anybody who might be interested in serving, put them in contact with me or give me their contact information, and I'd be happy to reach out to them.
And this is for 1-year terms that they serve?
Right, they serve 1-year terms.
How,
And
I'm sorry, go ahead.
I don't think they've met in years. And it's very rarely do we have a condemnation hearing, and then even when we do, they don't, all of them aren't called. It's a pool that they're called from, and they have the ability to decline anytime they are contacted. So it truly is a volunteer situation.
Gotcha.
So if we can't find people to fill all of these,
Then
then
we-
they just go with what we have?
Right, yep. We're not the only county that struggles
I
with
imagine.
finding enough people to serve on this. And this has been posted on our website for probably 6 months now, trying to generate some interest, but it's just not something people seem interested in serving on.
I'll move
Okay.
to approve.
Motion by Nathan,
Second.
second by Scott. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? And I vote aye as well.
And thank you to those folks who are willing. We
Yes.
appreciate it.
Discussion and possible action to approve the reappointment of Mary Friedrichs to a 3-year term ending June 30th, 2023 on the benefited fire district number 6 Board of Trustees.
So this district is a joint fire district with Scott County. And so there's 3 members to this Board of Trustees. 2 of them are Scott County residents, 1 of them is our resident. This particular person is a Scott County resident, so they take the lead. First, they contacted this Mary, she's interested in serving another term. They've already taken action to approve her. We just need to take action to approve her as well.
I'd move to approve.
Okay, motion by Scott,
Second.
second by Doug. All those in favor?
Aye.
I vote aye. Opposed? Okay, next item is discussion and possible action to approve the reappointment of Lisa Johnson and Keith White to the Muscatine County Veterans Affairs Commission for a 3-year term ending June 30th, 2023.
Move to approve.
Second.
Motion by Scott, second by Nathan. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Discussion and possible action to approve the reappointment of Paul Elsoff to the Muscatine County Civil Service Commission for a 6-year term ending June 30th, 2026.
Move to,
I'm sorry.
I'll move to approve.
And I'll second.
Okay, a motion by Doug, a second by Scott. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed?
Before we move on, I do want to remind you also that the board makes 2 appointments to this commission. The other appointment that you guys have to make is vacant. It's been vacant for quite some time as well.
Civil Service?
Yes. We've advertised for it. We've run it on our website. I had someone contact me a couple weeks ago who seemed very interested. And I certainly encouraged them if they were interested to apply. Unfortunately, so far I haven't received that app. So here again, if you know of anybody that might be interested in serving, the county attorney appoints 1 and the board appoints 2. There's a restriction that there can only be 2 from the same political party. But right now we have, I believe we have one of the 2 is independent. So we're pretty open in terms of it can be, we're not restricted by political party at this point in terms of your other appointment. We have 1 male and 1 female, so we're not restricted by gender in terms of trying to meet that requirement. I strongly encourage you guys to do what you can to find somebody to serve.
Okay.
If we have a situation comes up that we need to call the Civil Service Commission, that's gonna be an extremely difficult situation with only two of them. It's pretty imperative that we have a full 3-member commission, if we have to hold a civil service hearing, so.
Nancy, could you send us an email, kind of just with a list of every position we've got vacant and quick details about it, just
We
all
have
in one place?
on the county's
Website?
website, there's, if you
Check
look, there's a directory of boards and commissions,
Okay.
that lists all of the appointments that you guys make of other people to various boards and commissions with a brief description about what they do and who the current appointees are
Okay.
and what their terms are. And I
Okay.
believe that's up to date, other than the things that you're doing today.
So when we advertise, that's our only area that we're advertising on, is on our county
I have
website?
run it in all 3 newspapers, I believe twice in the last 6 months. It would ideally, the other appointment that you do would be an attorney. That Rosie Eichelberger had served for years and years, and she resigned, I think, back in September, last September. It would be good to have some knowledge of the legal system simply because of some of the requirements when you hold a civil service hearing. Understanding kind of how that process works. But that's certainly not a requirement that it be an attorney.
Mm-hmm.
So do we ever advertise on any sort of social media platforms?
I have just recently started doing some of our jobs vacancies on Facebook. We get a lot of response that way.
Yeah, and I'm wondering if that may be something that maybe we could talk with Bill and or somebody as far as helping maybe maybe promote some of those. I know
I think
when we
we're
were in the
probably at a
city, we
point
did a
where
lot of that, and it surprisingly brought, I'd go into budget and I would see so many new likes, so many new, points that they would put out, especially when I start looking, not so much just for this position, but maybe some of these appointments. There are a lot of different ways that they can get those things out with different hashtags and different things that they can push out. Some of those ways that they can try to help promote some of those, and I think with a lot of how our systems are working now with more online now versus a lot of in-person meetings, I think that you would possibly be able to get some of that interaction that we just are missing right now because we're not able to speak to a lot of these people publicly. So I
And,
think
well,
that,
and I think we're probably at a point where, it makes sense for us to create a county Facebook page. We don't have one right now. The advertisements
Yeah.
that I do,
But
I do them with my own personal Facebook.
I think that that's something that maybe we can talk to Bill on a different, and I know I'm putting you out there on this, but I think that that's something that maybe we should discuss or probably bring up as a board and think about for a future type of helping with jobs, helping with promotions, helping with getting retention, at least knowing what we're doing.
That's
and I think
actually
that
on,
maybe-
when in August, we'll be doing performance evaluations of the people who report directly to you. And so I have been working on my self-evaluation, and that's one of the things I have listed on mine is as a goal that we get that created and figure out whose assignments of who's gonna keep what parts updated, because that's really the part that becomes a challenge, is making sure that.
So I think we're kind of going off topic
Yeah.
here, but I think that that's just where I was just trying to get at. If we're not utilizing that and how we're trying to get some of those appointments, maybe that could be an avenue for the future for us, so.
I think it reaches more people than.
I agree, but I think we'll, maybe it'll be something that we can put up on the agenda for future
Yeah.
items. I think it's just something that I think we can look at. So on, that we had a motion by Doug and a second by Scott for the reappointment. All those in favor?
Aye.
And I vote aye. Motion passes. Discussion and possible action to approve the reappointment of Robert Bond and Mike Keller on the Mercer County Revolving Loan Fund Administration Board for a 2-year term ending June 30th, 2022.
Move to approve.
Motion by Nathan,
Second.
second by Scott. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. 0 nays. Okay, discussion and possible action to approve the resolution 06-29-20-02 for FY 2021 budget appropriations.
This just gives the departments permission to spend the money that you budgeted for them beginning Wednesday.
I'd move to approve.
Second.
Motion by Scott, a second by Doug. This is a roll call vote. Doug?
Aye.
Scott?
Aye.
Nathan?
Aye.
And I vote aye. Motion passes. H is review the fiscal year and count assignments.
Now, this is just a reminder that that you need to do cash counts at the end of the fiscal year, so the end of business day on Tuesday, or before business opens on Wednesday morning. And I have your sheets here. Doug, you're going to do conservation. Santos, you're doing the treasurer's office.
I have my appointment scheduled. for
Scott,
tomorrow.
you're doing engineer, and Nathan, you're doing
All
assessor,
the other
recorder, auditor, and attorney.
sounds good.
And then Jeff is going to do the jail.
Okay, and that's our own time to schedule with those individuals.
We do that at the end of the business day tomorrow.
That ideally, yep. And departments have all been reminded that this is gonna happen, and they've been encouraged to make deposits so that there's as little cash as possible on hand, that they've got their books pretty much closed out as well.
Yeah.
Okay. Any other items?
The only other item I have is a reminder that starting Friday morning, I'm on vacation for 2 weeks in northern Minnesota.
With your phone and laptop?
I
Just
have my phone with me, but actually where we stay, you can't get, internet unless you go to the top of the hill, and you can't get phone service unless you drive partway into town. 'Cause
Make
we're
sure-
out there in the middle of
She
nowhere.
knows exactly where she's going.
Make sure to bring a baseball bat for the mosquitoes.
Okay, well, that's good to know, and enjoy your vacation.
Thank you.
Well deserved. Okay. No other items. We will move on to the next item, review information from county employees.
Morning.
Good
Hey,
morning.
Nikki.
Just want to give you a quick project update on the G28 paving. Hire has gotten, again, reminder paving from west to east. They've passed Funk's Hill, just past Funk's Hill, and they're be pouring half of that intersection today. So really, we're getting into the more build up, more residential areas, so actually the going will probably get slower as we hit stages to keep people in and out. There are residences that, you know, can't get it instantly in and out. The strength curve is running about 30 hours before they can put them on a new pavement. And then PCI, the prime, will be working actually both ahead of the paving with removals and behind the paving, finishing up the shouldering and some work back there. 120th Street Bridge replacement, still waiting on drier conditions to finish there. Up on Old 6, our highway F58, they're placing some more of the asphalt patches, and then they're gonna be starting on the 4x8 box culvert extension this week. And then our culvert projects, which was Echo 122nd, F70 culverts and liners, Triple B's all but done. They need to do a little shaping around the inlets, and that's it for construction questions.
I like the pictures that you sent. They were very good. I appreciate that. I forgot to mention that.
The only other thing is we had flooding last week and still do. Cedar got fairly high into the moderate flood stage. Didn't quite go over Salisbury, but all your low-lying ones, like 152nd, went over. So once it gets off of it, which maybe by the end of the week it gets off of it, we'll see what the damages are. That's kind of, I've said it in here before. Kurt Weiss once, when I came here, said, you know, if it doesn't flood in the spring, it'll flood in June. And that's held true every single year except one that I've been here. We had one year that I think it was 2012, that we didn't have flooding.
Did they find any tile problems up there on 120th Street?
They haven't been back. They haven't been back, so. Every week I hear they're coming back and it rains and they don't come back.
Right.
So.
I did have a question. On North Mulberry, what are we doing? They're running a bunch of, looks like sewer drain of some sort. Is that the MPW?
Water.
Is that water?
Yeah,
Who's running that?
Muscatine Power and Water, without a permit,
How are they?
without a permit.
You see, they were running PVC, I think is what they were running. It looked like.
Yes, sir.
They don't have to get permits?
They do. I took that up with the chair.
You know.
Some time ago, who was glad to contact them. I said, great, you know, they don't listen to me, so, they don't listen to him either, that's my opinion, but, sorry folks, but.
The reason why I was just looking at it was just, I thought we ran a lot of, normally we didn't run the PVC that I was aware of, but I didn't know really what they were running and didn't know what your specs were that we had when we were running
That's sort of their material of choice.
ductile and some of the stuff.
In current times, what's in there right now is 6-inch ductile that's not that old, it's less than 30 years old, it's full of pinholes, and so they're both replacing a problem area and upsizing.
So that's not a feed, that's a drain.
It's a water main.
Oh, it is, so it really is a main, okay, it's a
Yeah.
feed.
Yep.
Okay. Interesting. We'll, add some follow-up possibly on that. Okay, anything else from any other county employees?
I'd just like to notify the board, following your discussion with the use of county buildings last week, we do have a zoning commission board adjustment meeting coming up July 10th. Kurt graciously offered the Environmental Learning Center for us to use, and we're gonna go ahead and take him up on that offer because it's such a large room. They could be isolated from the rest of the building, so we will have a public meeting where petitioners and the public would be allowed to come in person as opposed to just a straight virtual meeting. We believe just a handful of cases, none of which I don't think are going to be controversial, will be able to accommodate social distancing needs. They'll utilize a side door. We're going to provide some masks and hand sanitizer and that type of thing, but it will be open to the public to come to that meeting. So we'll probably go ahead and continue virtual accessibility as well for people that are not yet comfortable with that, but there will be the opportunity for the public to attend this hearing.
Okay. Well, thank you, and that's July
July 10th.
10th, okay. All right, any other items from county employees? Seeing none, we will move forward. We'll now open this up to review comments from the public. Anyone from the public would like to comment? Bill, I think if we have anybody on.
I don't have anyone muted, so.
Hello?
Yes.
Hello?
Please state your
Hello,
name.
County Board?
Yes, can you state your name and the address?
Yeah, I'm Paul Eltoff. I'm a resident of Fruitland.
Okay.
I would just like to state my thanks to the County Board for reaffirming me for the next period on the County Civil Service Commission. And having said that, I also serve on the county compensation committee. I wanted to voice my opinion just as a taxpayer. Thank you for approving the permit for the fireworks for the citizenry that are doing the fireworks in the Fruitland area out in the county on July 4th. And I also, I'm not sure which path to follow, but I would highly recommend that it's time for consideration of a very healthy raise for Nancy Schreiber and Sherry Seawright, who are prevalent in our county structure, but I'm not sure that they ever seem to receive what is well deserved on their behalf. And I would highly recommend, since we just recommended the raises we did a few months ago, the same consideration for raises for those two individuals like we did for all of the elected officials within the county.
Paul, I'm not sure we could afford to pay them what they're worth.
I don't know that you can pay them what they are worth.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure what we're going to do when we lose either one of them to retirement.
Oh, they're gonna live forever.
Well, Paul, we appreciate that feedback. We will take those into consideration. I will say that I do want to thank you also for your service and for your ability for the reappointment. We are glad to be able to also approve the fireworks, as we are all fond of the 4th of July coming up for us, and we will maybe drive by and be able to get a chance to view some of these as you open this up there in the county, in Fruitland as well. So we appreciate that.
Correct. That's this Saturday the 4th. And likewise, us citizens of the community, non-governmental, are also having a 10 a.m. parade through the Fruitland area. And everyone's welcome to come and observe or even participate. Walk in, ride in, anything you have, folks. Thank you all for all of your service as well.
Thank you, Paul.
Thank you, Paul.
Thank you,
Thank you,
Paul.
Paul. Okay. I don't know if I got his address, but
He said Fruitland.
Oh, I'm sorry. My address is 208 Sand Run Road in Fruitland.
thank you. Sorry, I forgot you were still on. Thank you, though. Having any other item, any other public?
They're unmuted, so if they want
Okay.
to speak up, now's the time.
All right, hearing none, I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
So moved. Second. And we are adjourned. Did you hit that for me over there?